I am Vakas Nasir, and I welcome you to Jolly Talk Show.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop.
She is an amazing photographer who is loved by all, be it the models or the brands. I don't think there's any brand she hasn't worked with. Yeah, I don't think so. But no matter how perfect she is and how wonderful her work is, she's as human as any one of us. She runs out of creativity. She feels lost sometimes, but what she does in those situations, in this interview, she answers those questions. Assalamu alaikum, Natasha. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm good. How are you?
I am good as well. Welcome to Jolly Talk Show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's an honor, honestly. And firstly, just let me know, how are you feeling? Like you were going through the COVID thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I was going through a bunch of health issues. I know I'm doing a lot better, but alhamdulillah.
Well, that is actually good. So, Natasha, my first question is actually about the pandemic and the COVID situation. I actually want to know that how pandemic affected your mental health and your productivity in a positive or negative way, or maybe in both.
Um, positive in a positive way, it affected me because right up until the pandemic, I was
Yeah.
working a lot, and I was working myself to the point of burnout. So, and ironically, usse pehle I would, tell my mother, कि I just need a break. I need to take a break, but I don't know how to take a break because I kept saying yes to work. And
Yeah.
ironically, वो break ही इतनी बड़ी आई कि, पूरी दुनिया, break ले रही थी मेरे साथ. But it was the first initial months were really nice at home because, we're very privileged. Allah ka shukr, I didn't have to work and I could still stay home. So I
Yeah.
was lucky that I was, I could be around my family. So I'm very lucky in that sense. But then eventually, as time went on, like 2 mahine guzre, teesra mahina guzra, it obviously started to affect me because I'm used to working all the time and I didn't have anything to do. So that's when I started the self-portrait series. थोड़े से वो किए थे. But then also I got bored of that as
Yeah,
well.
that FaceTime series.
Yeah, I know FaceTime to मैंने थोड़ी सी किए थे. I did self-portraits of myself at home and I
They were
tried to
great
make
too.
small tutorials. Thank you. So मतलब अच्छे times भी आए थे, बुरे times भी आए थे, but yeah, I just went with the flow.
Right. So, I personally, like, you are an amazing photographer. Firstly, I would like to say that I am a fan, honestly, because when I think of the photographers in Pakistan, initially it was Abdullah Haris and Mubin Ansari. But now, if someone asks me that who is your favorite photographer, that is automatically Natasha Zubair. Like, you
Thank
are
you.
amazing, honestly. So I
Thank
believe
you.
that when it comes to art, like every true art or every great expression that impacts people's life has
Mhm.
center. So I actually want to know that what was your center? What were you going through that directed you towards photography? Like what did you want to express through photography?
Uh, I think कोई एक specific चीज नहीं थी. When I'm not doing commercial work and when I'm focusing on portraits that I like doing, it's usually something I'm going through in that moment. And वो मुझे उस वक्त नहीं पता चल रहा था, but if I'm going through something, late night, I have this idea and I write it down साथ ही. And उसी वक्त then वो experiments में पता नहीं वो किस शक्ल से निकलता है. But it's usually during some specific times in my life where I've just wanted to just create something for myself. So I can't pinpoint it, but it's just that all of my creative projects have always come from a time where I've needed to do something because commercial work इतना चल रहा होता है तो मेरी बस हो जाती है. So then there's this time where I feel like I need to just do something for myself. So that's when I shoot editorials or random portrait sessions, इस तरह की चीजें.
So how did it all started? Like how did Natasha Zubair end up in photography?
I've always enjoyed photography ever since I was a kid. I've always had a camera. But I was very keen on not becoming a professional photographer. I would actually say कि मैं photography नहीं करूँगी as a career. This isn't a career. I'm going to be a graphic designer. That's why I studied design at NCA.
Yeah.
But during my times at NCA, I was getting opportunities in the market and I just felt like like it just felt right. You know what I mean? Like my design ka bhi kaam saath saath kar rahi thi. I was working both jobs technically. Like my freelance dono kaam karti thi, but just I was so like into photography and it just felt right. Like I felt like that's bas yahi hai. And then I still continued my design passion with my stationery. So it's not like, you know, I've let go of that completely, but photography just felt really nice. And the community and the whole market just felt super, you know, welcoming.
Yes, they were. They still are. Like everybody, like whenever I see
Yeah.
any model, they are just showering love on Natasha Zubair. Like be it Atika Gardesi, be it Manur Ali, be it Imama Owaisi, be it Iman Suleiman. Like everybody is like, okay, Natasha Zubair is great. She's the best. That's why I wanted to have you on my show. So,
Thank
Natasha, what do you
you.
actually do when you run out of creativity? Because like that happens to everyone. So that must happen to you
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So what do you do when you run out of creativity?
Mm, मैं बस 10 minutes like चुप करके बैठूं ना, I can come up with something. I'm just that sort of person. Like if you give me, like I love problem solving things, you know. So if you give me like 10 minutes and you just give me like a model or a location, मैं कुछ ना कुछ कर लूंगी. Like that's always been my, you know, like life motto कि मैं कुछ निकल आएगा, right? So creativity में I don't stress too much. Usually while I'm under pressure, I usually come up with things like, you know, like pretty easily. So मुझे कभी इस चीज का मसला नहीं हुआ. कभी कभी ये होता है कि of course commercial काम करते करते I feel like I'm losing creativity. That's when I go into research. I try to look at a lot of photographers from abroad, even Pakistani photographers, and I just try to research and see, okay, if I'm stuck in this pattern, you know, what can I do differently? And then I try to implement a few, you know, different techniques. So ये चीजें. But mostly it's just everything of mine is very last minute on the spot.
There are lots of photographers around us. Like there are lots of female photographers around us, and there are lots of female photographers in our industry as well now. So is that still a male dominant industry, or do you see that gender disparity is waning right now or not?
I think एक हद तक तो of course females have entered, but of course it's still very male dominated. You know, if there's 10 male photographers, then there's 2 female photographers. You know, like अभी तो बहुत कम है. Slowly, yeah, people are coming into the industry, and I've always been a huge advocate for female photographers.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping girls have the confidence because the skill is there for sure. The skill level has always been there. It's just maybe the fear or acceptance in the society, you know, from parents or whatever. But you know, I'm hoping that, you know, more females they join the industry.
Right. So Natasha, you are, as I said again, like I'm going to say again, that you're an amazing photographer. So I actually want to know that how your journey as a photographer and entrepreneur has been, and what are you most grateful for now?
The journey has been great. I consider myself very lucky because I feel like, I mean, I've worked really hard, but I don't think I've had to struggle. You know what I mean? Like I feel like मुझे struggle नहीं करनी पड़ी. मैंने जितना मेहनत किया है, मुझे उतना ही, you know, result मिला है. So I'm really lucky in that sense. The journey has been great, and there's still a super long way, you know, for me to go. What was the second question?
Well, second question was, what are you most grateful for now?
I'm just grateful for the response I've gotten. Like, you know, like everyone on the internet is so nice to me. I'm really grateful for that. I don't know if everyone else gets that, you know, because I feel like I haven't done any sort of extra promotion or any, you know, marketing or stuff. All I would do was post my work. That's it. And I've met a lot of amazing people online, and we've built like this really nice community. So I'm really lucky for that opportunity.
Exactly. And you know, like, as you said, that you just have to post these stuff and people just notice it and they just love it automatically. And it's a blessing, and you're a blessed person.
Yeah, it's a huge blessing.
So, Natasha, what is the most difficult decision you have had to make to pursue your destiny?
I think putting work before my friends and my family, that's been a huge, you know, decision that I've had to make because of my work. I barely have a social life. I've missed out on a lot of family events and stuff like that because obviously you can either, I mean, of course, realistically, you should find a healthy balance, but unfortunately, in the past few years, I wasn't able to find that. So that's something I feel like I had to sacrifice. I put my work first. I put all of these opportunities first, and I don't regret it. It was, in the moment, it was great. But now moving forward, I've really learned to balance my health, my family, my friends, and my work.
Well, that is actually pretty great. So, Natasha, there's a
Yeah.
question that I ask every guest on my show, and that is, what is that thing that keeps you bright in the darkest of times?
Hmm. I'm generally a very optimistic person. Like I'm the typical, Instagram pe optimism ki jo quotes hote na, I'm that. Like yeah. So of course I'm very human. I also have super dark times, but I like snap myself out of it, because I feel like if you have the option to be happy, then why not be happy, right? I choose not to be sad, or I choose not to keep myself in dark times, because there's no point. You know what I mean? Like
It's not
aapko
worth it.
being in dark, it's not worth it, and you don't get anything from it. Like I've gone through the dark times, and I realized usse kuch bhi nahi milta. So it's much better to just pick yourself up and just move. So yeah.
Well, that's great. Natasha, this was all, and I would like to thank you for being on this show. Like you were a great guest, I would say, and I just hope you a healthy recovery and a lot of blessings in your life.
Thank you for having me. The questions were great. I'm glad someone asked me something different other than